Welcome to UNET and our first Expo of Human Enhancement.
It is time to upgrade a human. So I'd like to introduce our final guest of the evening. Also travelled from Spain to be with us today. A body modification artist who's actually performed quite a lot of the implants on left as well. Would you please welcome to the stage, Jenova Rain. Jenova, we're going to do the Spanish kiss. Come join me, let me move that. So we're just going to talk a little bit, before we get on to the implanting, we're going to talk about... so Jenova is going to be performing the implant procedure. But you are a body modification artist.
I am, yes, yeah.
How did you get into that? I mean, why?
Accident, actually, as that happened.
Yeah.
I was a body piercer for many years, which that I was also accidental, but that's another story for another day. So it's always been an interest of mine anyway, in terms of hobbies, and like I love sci-fi, love science, and most of my tattoos are sci-fi related. Again, another story for another day. So I'd read about this stuff, I'd heard about it, and I just thought, oh, that sounds amazing. That's something that I really want to do. Does that fall under the legislation and requirements for what I currently do for body piercing? Turns out it did. So happy days, and that's what I do now. I stab microchips into people.
So you do microchips into people, but you started doing earlobe reconstruction.
All sorts. I can do whatever you need.
I noticed, I was just sort of checking in on where we were at with your career last night on the internet, and I noticed that on your website, you've updated your website recently, and it includes a new service that you offer, which we could include this evening for the implants, which is male genital beading.
Yes. We can do some of that as well.
Just tell us, go on briefly. Chili's not here, I don't know. Male genital beading, what the hell?
Just silicone implants. So it's implant grade silicone, same as breast implants, on a much, much smaller scale. You can get tiny beads or rib designs or heart designs or any kind of patterns, and you can have that all the way down your foreskin. Yay! And
it gets inserted, you say it's a very easy procedure. It's a needle again. You deliver it via needle into the foreskin.
A little bit of an incision, and then you just wiggle it under.
Show of hands, people.
Who wants one of them? Yeah.
Tarek, over there. You got some business after the show. So, we are going to implant someone. Now, the original plan was that Jenova was going to come over and was going to be installed here, and that we were going to have an implant party, basically, so that anyone of you that wanted to could upgrade tonight. So that was the original plan, which sounds like fun, yeah? There'd have been loads of people.
I know, right?
But they would be doing
like
it, right?
Half of you would have been chipped by now.
Yeah, now I'll be honest, when the Science Museum Group's legal department got wind of this, apparently everyone got a little bit nervous. So this isn't a bad thing. Really, it's a sensible thing, because there's no legislation around this, right? You can't...
It is a fairly grey area outside of a certified clinical premises.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what it turns out we can do, so we can't implant anyone if we're going to do this, except me. So I'm the only person that can be implanted this evening. Now, I am fully prepared to do this, but what I thought, you'll have noticed I've been doing the show of hands thing, right? So this is democracy in action. I'm going to have a show of hands for who does and doesn't think I should upgrade tonight and get the microchip implanted. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little moment so you don't make a rushed decision. Okay, you've had a little, that's enough time. That's as much time as you need to think about it. Show of hands. We will do it right now. Who thinks I should get a microchip implanted into me right now?
Oh, wow.
I told you. Let's go. Who thinks I shouldn't? Oh, my wife is so happy. Let's do the genital beading as well.
Like a buy one, get one free, right? You can...
Oh, okay, so we're going to do this. Right, so Ellie
let them
and
set up
Alison are going to set up. So tell us what the process is for how this works then.
So for this one, this is just a simple syringe-delivered microchip, very much what Left was talking about. It's a bioglass capsule with the microchip inside. This, unfortunately, only takes about 3 seconds to put in, so blink and you'll miss it. There are a lot of other microchips that I do and implant. Some of them are a little bit more invasive. Some of them do require I'll be honest, it's a scalpel-based procedure with suture stitches. We can do flexible microchips that can go in your finger or down the side of your hand, in the back of your wrist. The advantage of that versus this is you get a higher read range on those because it's a larger antenna size. So instead of having to really rub your phone or device into your chip to get a read, you can read things from a couple of inches away with the larger chips. But we can't do that today, so we are just going for the...
I'm not nervous.
At least that's you dropping it and not me.
I'm the Director of Communications for Unlimited Enhancement Technologies. This is the next natural step. Of course it is. I'm going to go really deeply into role now. I'm going to have to do this, aren't I? Right, Jenova. Put your hands in the air, you fuckers. Put your hands up. Yeah, they all voted for it. Okay. Right, you have to wear a mask. Of course you do.
I've never done this with a Britney microphone.
You have done this before. You have done this before. She has done. You have done this before?
Once last week. On my cat.
So funny.
Right.
Oh, why? What am I going to do with it?
Also, I'll be honest right now, it's mostly sort of novelty rather than anything else. But that's as good a reason as any, to be honest. Depending on what car you have, you could start your car with it, you could start your bike with it. Samsung make RFID, NFC door locks, so you could replace your entire front door system with one of this and open it.
Any suggestions from the floor?
You can use...
Well, you can program me. You can tell you what, we can do this. We'll stay in touch, and literally you can come and you can program me with whatever you want.
So there's loads of phone apps. If you're an Android user, there's loads of phone apps you can download to install.
It's got no use.
You have to buy a new phone. You can just tap your phone to it. You can store contact information on there. You can put your website on there. So if somebody else put their phone to it, it would come up with your website or your contact details or medical information or all sorts.
Hang on a minute. There's a data issue here, isn't there? Somebody putting my medical information. Payment. Can I do contactless payment?
Now, this is the big thing.
That would be cool.
We're currently beta testing one of our new chips, and payment protocol is what we're really looking at. So the main issue with replicating that is there is a security protocol that has to go to verify that payment. You can't just put that on a chip and hope for the best. You have to be in contact with various banks, and they have to know what you're doing and secure that. There is a company that I work very closely with called VivoKey Technologies. It's a sister company of DangerousThings.com run by Amal Grafstra.
The really reassuringly named DangerousThings.com.
It's brilliant. Check it out.
Who sell all the magnets that you all want to get put inside you.
So I'm involved in the beta testing program for that right now. It should be done by Christmas, and then they'll be available to the public. And that will be the first chip when it's all sorted that you can then make payments with. So that is
a really big needle.
It's massive. Are you all right standing up, or do you need to sit down?
Should I sit down? I think it's gonna be fine, isn't it?
You're fine. Just put your hand down.
I'm really nervous. I didn't think I would be. This is fun.
Perfectly
At
normal.
no point did I've never thought that at any stage that this would be my job.
Me neither.
I don't get paid anymore.
I actually wanted to be a dancer growing up.
Oh. You can dance, yeah. So you're sterilising me?
I am indeed sterilising you. Just dry you off a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just going to give you a couple of dots, more for my reference than it is. Just make a fist with your thumb inside.
Inside.
That's it.
Follow simple instructions.
It's just to see where you where you bulge out.
Yeah.
Cool, and relax, just open hand again.
It's like a contractual thing as well, where if you're working at the Science Museum, you're not allowed to drink alcohol visibly while you're working. Fucking rules.
I know, right? I've had way too much caffeine today. My choices were beer or coffee, and I couldn't drink the
Quick,
beer.
I'm
so it
not
was
going
fucking-
unsterile! Don't want an infection.
That's it, lovely. Can you still...
Cool.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you a bleeder?
Let's find out. I hope we get some right in the camera lens.
I'm going to try and not be in the way, but that's not normally my primary concern. Alrighty. Take a nice big breath in. Ooh.
It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yay!
It's totally fine!
I did warn you it'd be really quick. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to press on that for about 10 seconds. And then we can have another look in a second, and you guys can see like how teeny tiny that little hole is. And then we're going to get a plaster on you, and you're all done.
I honestly, it wasn't like a real thing. We've just sort of been making this stuff up and talking to people. And at no point did I think that what would happen when we did this event was that I would... I'm a cyborg?
So
Right,
yeah,
cool.
teeny tiny. In fact, my pen mark is probably bigger than the little, tiny little.
So that's all good.
Yeah.
There will be no infection. And I won't...
Standard cleaning stuff. Keep your hands clean, but also keep them dry. A
could
little
get
bit
a hero
contradictory.
arm.
Alcohol rub is always good. Salt water twice a day. You want to keep this plaster on for 24 hours.
Okay.
I do recommend replacing that. Do that for 3 days straight, and yeah, everything else is on.
That says on this implant
yeah,
aftercare leaflet. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You're going to put that on. I feel quite emotional. I hope you've had some fun this evening. I hope you've learned some interesting things as well as had some fun. Take some of that back out into the world with you. Let's have a show of hands now. Who would do the microchip? More people!
Yeah.
This has been, I want to cut. Like 15%. So thank you, everyone. Hurry up, because I'm sort of dragging this out a little bit now.
I did ask if you're a bleeder.
I'm a bleeder!
Right, let's try and whack it on. Go on in.
Yeah, we'll sort it out.
Just keep your other thumb on that for a minute. Just
Okay.
squeeze it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've got it. Didn't faint, which is good.
Yay.
So yeah, thank you so much to the Science Museum, the Manchester Science Festival, particularly Joanna, Antonio, and Tanya, who really make this happen, Alison, Philippa, and Ellie, all the guys that put this together this evening from our point of view, our amazing guests. Can we have a massive round of applause for all of our guests that have taken part this evening. Thank you very much. Our contributors from all the brilliant institutions, organisations, Maeve, DC, all of you lot as well. Cat Brown Sugar, I think it is time to play us out. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Let's go to the bar.